Hey, hello, and welcome to the show. It is me, JP, and it's time for JP's product pick of the week. So thank you so much for stopping by. What is going on here today? First of all, thanks for stopping by. We've got people over in the YouTube chat. Hello, Dave Odessa, Tackle the World, Sarah Pierce. Welcome. Thanks for stopping in over there. And then if you're somewhere else and you're wondering where's the chat, because we don't tend to hop into every possible chat. We're not in the Twitch or the Facebook chat. If Facebook's working these days, it's been a little flaky. But we are in the Discord chat. That is the Adafruit Discord, which is right there at adafruit.it/Discord. That's how you can hop in if you've never been there before. And that'll get you right to our server. Instant invite. You are now part of the club. And we have the live broadcast chat channel. That's where people are hanging out during the chat. And who we have over here? We've got Thin Man. Hello. Jim Hendrickson, hey, DJ Devon 3, howdy, Squid.jpg, what's up? Blitz City DIY, hey Liz, Toddbot, hello, C Grover, hey, thanks for hopping in there. So, what's this all about, huh? This is the show on which I pick a new product, or a recent-ish product, and we stash a bunch away before the show, so we know we have them on hand. And then we give you a big, huge discount on them. You can buy them during the show for a discounted price just by heading over to this URL. This is actually a twofer today. They're related products, and you can go at either one of those URLs or both. That QR code is just for the first one there. You can watch this show from inside the product pages. I'll refresh mine to double check. Yes, we've thrown a bunch in stock. We have slashed the price in half. One of them is going really quick, so head on over there if you want to get the sort of add-on one. But the main one, we got plenty of those. What am I talking about? Well, before I talk about it, I like to have Lady Ada jump back a little bit in time for her new segment. And then I'll take you through its courses, talk about it, show you some demos and some guides, and encourage you to pick up one of these lovelies. So before I go any further, here is Lady Ada. Please take it away, Lady Ada.
This is an all-in-one camera that can run CircuitPython or Arduino. It has an ESP32S3, which is Wi-Fi and Bluetooth capable, 8 megabytes of flash, 2 megabytes of PS RAM, which it needs because it has to read up to 5 megapixel images from the onboard camera sensor. And the camera sensor is in the middle there. It's an OV5640, which is kind of the nicest camera that you can get from microcontrollers at that size. And it's got autofocus capability. So you can take either close-up or far-away photos, and you can manually change the focus or autofocus. It will use the motor to move the lens back and forth for you. You can power it over USB Type-C or battery. If you want battery powered, it'll auto recharge. There's a micro SD card slot for storing images, and you can also take GIFs, animated GIFs. There's Stemma QT and Stemma non-QT ports, 2 GPIOs, analog or digital for LEDs or sensors, and I2C for any other kind of sensor device you want to attach. There's a built-in accelerometer. There's a shutter button, a reset button, an on-off switch so you can save power, a preview screen, 240 by 240 so you can see what the camera sees, lots of buttons, and a speaker that'll buzz when you take a photo or you want to give people signals or something. So I thought I could just show a quick demo of the CircuitPython code running. As you can see the REPL, and it loads the firmware for the autofocus, which takes a few seconds. And then you've got, your own camera here. Let me back this off because this is, okay. So, yeah, you got a camera, and you can autofocus, take photos. You can change, this is the firmware that we've got running on it that is in CircuitPython, which of course means you can modify it. This is black and white mode, like sepia and color modes. This is solarized, like a cool, kind of like a funky effect. Normal, inverted, so it's hard to see because it's but it inverts all the colors. You can do JPEG mode, and we have a mode that you can take very small animated GIFs if you want to make an animated GIF camera. Stop motion photography, which is kind of neat. Stop motion means that, let me go back to normal. When you take a photo, it'll show a ghost of the previous image. So if you're doing stop motion animation, You can tell like how much you have to.
Onion skinning. I think
Yeah, it's onion skin. This is your idea, which is kind of cool. And then let's
yeah,
see.
you can see where the last photo that you took was, so you can do the next one.
Yeah, SD card support.
Good for claymation little videos.
Yeah, we might show a little like how to do stop motion, but like if you want your very own completely open source camera that you can write code for
Yeah.
in Arduino or CircuitPython, and of course it has like web access and Bluetooth access, so you can do wireless projects with it. There'll also be a case. This is showing one half of the case, and then of course I left the other half. There's another half of the case on top that has an LED ring built into it. But for now, we're just having the bare board. If you want to just get started, you want to make your own enclosure, and then we'll also have a case available.
Those things are all true. This right here, actually these are my product picks of the week this week. It is the Momento DIY open source camera board and the enclosure and hardware kit. So this is, as you may recall, this was our most recent AdaBox, and now we've let some time pass. We have them in stock, enough of them to do this at the half price for the product pick of the week. And there it is. It's the Momento camera board. Maybe you never got one. Maybe you think you could use a second one because you can program them to do kind of whatever you want. So there's a lot of potential uses. You might want to have a couple of them on hand. So what is it? Let's hop into the down shooter here and take a look at these. So here we go. This is the array of things that we have here today. Let me bring up a little teeny little me picture there. And I can talk to you from inside of the camera. How about we'll do that? Hold on one second. Doing some silly editing here. Real-time crop. How about crop left? Crop right? And there we go. Yeah, so this right here, this is the product pick of the week. We have the Momento camera board itself. So what is this one? This is an open source programmable DIY camera. It's a really great way to learn about how computational photography works. So it's a little camera module. It's an ESP32S3. It's very powerful. You can run CircuitPython on it. You can run Arduino on it. And you can use it to learn about taking pictures. So you can do things like time-lapse photography, stop-motion photography, long exposure photography. You can bracket your exposures. You can bracket your focus. There's a automatic focus, autofocus, as well as manually bracketing or stepping your focus. You can, what else can you do with this? It has the lens. Okay, I'm going to break the illusion here for a second. It has the lens right here, little lens module right there. It's got a 72-degree field of view, and it has the little coil motor, little voice coil motor in there that's used to actually move it just a tiny bit for your focusing. We have on there a so like I said, it's an ESP32S3. It's got the 8 megs of flash, 2 megs of PS RAM. It's a dual core Tensilica 240 megahertz processor. It's got Wi-Fi and BLE on it, so you can do things like talk to it over Wi-Fi, trigger it over Bluetooth. Those are all possibilities. It has, as you can see here on this side, the 240 by 240 1.54-inch TFT screen. It's a nice screen. It's not that. That's just me being silly. But there's the screen right there. I'll turn one on in a little bit, and you can see it there. We have a micro SD card slot on it, so you can store your photos on a little micro SD card and swap them out, put them in your computer, and then use your photos for other stuff. There are 2 of these Stemma full-size 3-pin ports that you can use for digital and for analog stuff. So if you want to use a potentiometer for something in it, you can plug it in there. If you want to create a remote trigger for it, you can use that. We've also got on it a regular, or I should say a Stemma QT port. So this is the 4-pin, and that is for I2C. So you can hook up I2C devices, little seesaw boards, things like that, sensors and so on. It has an accelerometer built on, so you can use that for triggering it when there's movement, that sort of thing. There is LiPo battery charging built in. There's a little spot to put a LiPo there. You'll want to pick up a 420 milliamp hour short cabled LiPo battery from the Adafruit store with that proper polarity so that we can charge it right on board. It has 6 user buttons on it, so we've got the little D-pad here for up, down, left, right for navigating the menu. We have an OK button, a select button. Up on top there is the shutter button there. It says cheese on it, as well as a little reset button. And there is an on-off switch, physical on-off switch that'll turn it on and off to save battery. We have a kit, which is all these add-ons. So you can use this camera by itself, works great. If you want to get slightly fancier, we have this little back plate, and that just fits on there, kind of adds a little protection for the TFT screen, keeps that from being fully exposed. Not a huge problem without, but there you go, that's what that is. The other one is the slightly more interesting one. Let me move my Me out of the way here, off to the side. So this one here, you can see it's got the nice silk screen on here. It says Memento. This is the Stemma 3-pin port that you'll use to connect it up to the Memento with a little shorty cable that it comes with. And that's to give you access to power, ground, and data to run this little NeoPixel ring. So this will be the front of the camera, and you can use that to do different colored effects and flash and light fill type of effects. And then we also have there a little set of 8 screws and 4 nuts that you can use to assemble all of this to get that all screwed on and spaced off of there. There's some little standoffs built onto the board. There's also a little piece of double stick tape that you can use to adhere your battery right there if you're going to use that. So take all those things and you get this. This is a completed one, and then I've also added to that an SD card and the battery. Those don't come in the kit. Those are separate, largely because of shipping concerns. But here it is. So let me move in a little closer here. I'll refocus. Let me focus to, say, about there. So I can turn that on. It will boot up. This one is running CircuitPython, and one of our main demos, we call it the fancy camera demo. Let me put something in there so you can see it in the viewfinder. So you can see we've got a real-time viewfinder there, and there it's telling me the SD card is okay, so I can take pictures. So if I just press that, click, snap, it just saved to the SD card. We can also do autofocus. So if I click and hold, it's going to do some autofocus magic. Let me pull it out a little further here so you can see that change. There you go. You saw that snap in to focus, and then I can snap the picture. And then if I start using my UI buttons, I can change the resolution that I'm shooting with. Right now it's shooting at, you can't really see it because of the brightness here, but here it's at 1024 768, and then I can toggle through other resolutions. The screen resolution for the preview is always 240, or actually a little smaller because of these black bars. But what it saves to the disk can be up to 2560 by 1920, all the way down to, I think, 240 by 240. That might be our smallest one as we tap, tap, tap. Let's see, 1024, 86, 640, 640, 320, 240, 240, 240. That's the smallest one. And then if we click to the right again with the UI, we can change the filter. So we can go to solarize, sepia tone, bluish, greenish, reddish, black and white, invert it, which looks cool. Let's take a picture of that. Boop. And then back to normal mode. And then in your bottom right here, again, it's hard to see on the screen because of brightness. Let me tackle that. Hold on, let's adjust our exposure down a little. There you go, that's a better view of it. Should have done that from the beginning. So when it says JPEG, this is regular save a JPEG, sort of regular snapshot camera mode for this. If I go up, we can go to GIF mode. This allows us to save short little GIF animations. Game Boy mode, that's this really cool dithered black and white. And that's what the opening photo was of me here. I just kind of blew it up a bunch, but that right there was a little piece of that dithered Game Boy mode, like the Game Boy camera. And then we can go to stop motion mode. This allows us to take a picture and then it will onion skin or give us a semi-transparent ghosted image of the previous photo while we take the next one, and this helps with seeing where like the motion trail of something you're moving is. And let's hit that again. Time-lapse mode, this allows you to do things like take pictures of a flower growing or the clouds moving. It will automatically take a certain interval of photos over and over and over again until you tell it to stop or it runs out of room. So those are the features of this sort of main fancy camera demo, but you can do a heck of a lot more with it. So let me switch over to the site here for the browser. And you can see this is the main page. So right now these are $17.48. That's a really good deal. Normally these are $34.95. So that's a good deal even just to get an ESP32 S3 dev board, let alone we got this whole camera built all around it with the OV5640 module on there. Here is the page for the Enclosure kit. I'm going to guess those are gone. I'm going to refresh and see. Okay, those are out of stock now. Those are normally $10, so you might put the notification email in there and find out later. But it's not necessary. You can use the camera on its own without that. You could even roll your own ring light if you wanted to with a NeoPixel ring. And then this is the main guide for the Memento board. This shows you how to set it up, how to install CircuitPython, gives you info about pinout. Here's all of the different parts, some instructions there. Don't forget to peel off the little sticker on there. You'll see a little red tab on there. If you leave that on, and it's easy to forget, you will get some blurry pictures at first and wonder why. That's why. So this will tell you what all the different pins are that are broken out and available, including hardware UART. If you want to solder to those and get real fancy, you can. There is a, I forgot, there's a MEMS microphone on there. I kind of forgot there's a microphone on there. Yeah, so you could do something like a clap to take a photo if you want. There's a speaker on there, so it's used just for those little beepy noises. And then all of our connectors. If you take a look in the Learn Guide for the Momento Camera board, just search that. You'll see we've got a ton of different projects. So first of all, since this was an ADA box, we have, that's one great place to go to see how to put it together and a collection of all the different Learn Guides that were available for it. But here you can see them in a nice grid display here. We've got things like IoT doorbell camera, right? This uses Wi-Fi. You can take a picture that will just go up to your Adafruit I/O and email you a copy. IoT bird feeder, again, motion detection, takes a photo, sends it to you, and can also save it to SD card. There's some cases that you can print for it. There's a nice remote shutter button for the Memento. In fact, I still have that one over here in my little pile of demo projects. And in fact, this one I have stored in, this is a little optional case you can pick up you'll see that in the store, just a little foam zip case. And thank you for, someone mentioned that in our chat. Who was that? That was David Glaudet, thank you. Yeah, don't forget the zipper case. So in this one, you can see I have this nice little breakout for taking pictures. If you don't want to bump it, if you're taking stop motion, you might have this locked in on a tripod using a little 3D printed tripod connector. You can check out the different cases that we have. This allows you to remotely trigger just by clicking that. You can also do things like I said, remotely trigger using Bluetooth. And I had a project, you'll see right here, wireless remote with Touch OSC that allows you to use your any touch device, so it could be Android, could be iOS. You can even use it on the Mac, Touch OSC, which gives you an interface that will connect to pretty much all of the fancy camera features, including some extra stuff like color, LED color stuff. Oh, and in fact, I forgot to show that on this example here. Let me jump back to that just so you can see it. If you go to the right after picking your mode, so I'm in JPEG mode, it says light level, so I can press between 5 different light levels here, very bright. And then we go right again, we can pick the color. So it's white, we just have some pre-saved colors here, some pure colors mostly, so you can do some nice color effects. And just for fun, we have a rainbow on there. But that's those are NeoPixels, so you can use them for pretty much anything. And I think these are RGBW with warm white. So let me go to this last color here. That's a nice warm light. You can see how natural that looks. We don't get the bluish hue from that. So that's a really nice one to do fill light for photography. This sensor does not like the dark. It is a low cost, small sensor. Does not like the dark. You'll get grainy images in dark environments, I'll just warn you. But if you get a good bit of light on there, and this can help, you can get some pretty clear pictures, which is great. Let's see, so back to the Learn guides here. We've got facial detection and recognition with Memento, a guide that Brent put together. And I think there's a shoulder robot project that uses that here that Ruiz Brothers collaborated with Brent on. So that is using the facial recognition and a little servo motor to keep the camera focused at the subject. I did a guide on Memento focus stacking. So this is this idea of, has a pretty shallow depth of field, so you'll get something sharp in the front and then just a few inches away, if it's a close-up macro subject like some flowers, things will get blurry. So we can say, okay, you go ahead and take a picture, then adjust the focus a little, take a picture, adjust the focus a little, take a picture, and it'll go through, can take like 100 photos, and then you can use software to combine those into one sharp image. We've got a really cool BLE cat thermal printer project that Liz did using Bluetooth. It'll send a photo to the printer, just like the Game Boy Color. It's the same sort of idea. It uses the little dithered 240 by 240 image, which is a little higher than the Game Boy, I think, and then shoot that over to a thermal printer. We have web workflow available. We have some cool guides. Liz did this one, OpenAI image descriptors. So that will take a photo, shoot it up online, and bring back a description of the image based on OpenAI. And I think we might even have some more if you click on, like I said, the Learn guide here. You can see them all in one place. Actually, it looks like the full set. Yeah, so that's the full set of Learn guides that we have. And let's see, what I'll do here is, let me first of all check and see if there's any questions in the chat. No. Yeah, it makes little GIFs, little short GIF animations, and I think some of those, let me go back to here for a second. Some of those are in the, let's see, is it in the Quick Start guide? I think it might be, yeah. If you go to the Quick Start guide, you'll see things like shooting an animated GIF. Here you can see some examples of, I've got my Beastie Boys basketball there rolling away. Shows you how to put it into the GIF mode, make your GIF. So you can just do these nice little sort of vignettes. And you can still use things like the colored filters and inverting and adding colored lighting. Oh, that's cute. So those are some options. And then in the last example there, I've just post-processed it to do a little bit of a boomerang type of thing. So if you take a look, the CircuitPython library here, that's what's running on this one right here. I can turn that back on. And I will mention in the chat, someone, I think Some Nice said it's worth pointing out that there are persistent mode settings. So when you turn it off, it will remember all of the last modes that you were in, which is helpful. Says if you're, oh, the mode is persistent. So before you upload a different sketch, be sure to switch to the mode you want. I see. So if you're not explicitly setting the mode, you can get it the camera stuck in a mode. I haven't run into that. Okay, good tip. Thank you. The CircuitPython library takes care of pretty much everything. It is self-contained. It's this one right here, Adafruit Pi Camera. And so you can see after some Wi-Fi setup and things that I'm doing on here, we instantiate PyCam equals Adafruit Pi Camera. Pi Camera, and then we're doing some UI setup, but even that, a lot of that is calls to Pi Camera. So you can see here, The text that gets displayed is PyCam mode text, and we can just check that. The button presses are inside of PyCam, so it's a nice, neat, self-contained thing. You can do stuff more explicitly if you check out the library. That'll give you some hints on how to do that. But a lot of it is just contained inside of that library, which was largely the efforts of Jeff Epler. So thanks to Jepler for that. Makes it very easy to work with. You can check this out for details on how that main sketch works, and then extend those to some of your other work. So let's see. I think that's going to cover it. Don't forget, that's the URL there. I think we may be sold out. Someone mentioned we are okay. We're still in stock on the camera. It's just the it looks like just the accessory add-on kit that's out of stock. So you can still go right there, throw that in your cart. You don't need a coupon code or anything like that. It'll just be this price until either we sell out, or about the time the show ends, we'll return it to the full price. You can see here, by the way, the little zipper case I mentioned is linked right in the product page, so you can click that if you want to check it out. Cute little case, $2.50, nice little add-on. And it has some space in there to store things like extra USB cable for charging, some SD cards, and so forth. Let's see. So that should cover it all. I'm going to just check and see if there's any other questions. Aza's built to code asks in YouTube, neat 3-axis accelerometers so you can detect vibration, strength, and orientation. You know what? I have never tried. I don't think I've ever tried the accelerometer on here, so I won't answer that. Anyone who's used it, please let us know, or you can ask in the Help with Circuit Python or over in our forum to see if anyone's got experience with that. It's a great question. It's on there. I don't know if we ever used it for, we may have used it for orientation stuff. That may be built in, that if you take a picture sideways, it does the flip. We talked about that at one point. I just can't remember if we used that. That's one way that accelerometers are often used in cameras, is just to properly rotate the image before it gets saved. Or actually it saves it and then adjusts it. Let's see, any other questions? No, looks like we're good. So I'll wrap that up. So all this right here, this is my product pick of the week this week. It is the Momento DIY open source camera board and the Enclosure and hardware kit. For Adafruit Industries, I'm John Park. This has been JP's product pick of the week, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.